The Weld function is one of the 5 advanced layer functions available in Cricut Design Space. This function is located at the bottom of the Layers panel and is used to help you edit or create designs, and I'm going to show you in this video 3 different ways to use it. Stay tuned for an upcoming tutorial where I'll be showing you how to create this happy birthday cake topper all inside Cricut Design Space using fonts and shapes and using the Weld function and the slice function as well. In the first example, I want to create the image that is on the right using the design elements that are on the left. You can see the image on the right is a single piece. The machine will actually cut along the lines that I'm showing here, which are called contour lines. So if I want to create this image or this design using individual hexagons that I have on the left, I am going to use the Weld function because the Weld function is going to merge those pieces at the location where they overlap. So to make the Weld function active, you need to select 2 or more layers. If you don't select any layers, the function will be inactive. If you select only 1 layer, it is also inactive. But if you select 2 or more layers, then you can use the Weld function. So now that I have my 3 layers selected, I can use the Weld function to merge separate hexagons at the location of the overlap. The result of the Weld function is always a single layer. If you want to use this function and you don't want to lose your original layers, I recommend you making copies of your original layers before you apply the Weld function. So I can go back to undo, and I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of one of the layers, or I can duplicate all of them. But in this case, I'm just going to duplicate one so that I can save it in case I need it. And then I'm going to go ahead and hide it so I don't have to see it on my Cricut Design Space canvas. So now that it's hidden, I'm going to go ahead and apply the Weld function by selecting all of my 3 hollow hexagons and then applying the Weld function. As you can see, I have a single layer, but I also have the original layer that I was able to save in case I need it later. Let's say that you want to create a honeycomb and you have individual hollow hexagons that you can create using the slice function. Then you can go ahead and use the Weld function to simply create a design that is on the right. And basically the design on the right is a single piece that the Cricut will actually cut following the contour lines. So if I delete this image really quickly and then I apply the Weld function, then you're going to see that I'm able to get this single piece where all the elements are merged together at the locations of the overlap, and then you also know that you have a single layer as a result. I wanted to mention that the layers do not necessarily need to overlap for you to use the Weld function. You can have independent layers that are not overlapping, and you can use the Weld function to create a design. And I'm going to show you in the last example of this video what I mean. The second example, or the second way to use the Weld function, is with text. When we want to work with cursive letters and we want the Cricut machine to do a single cut instead of cut individual letters. You have different options. The first option is that you can select a font that actually is better, but even sometimes when you select the best font that's out there for that, you still find that you have spaces that you can't get rid of. So if you have that problem, then you can start out by first changing the letter space. For instance, I'm going to go to -0.1 and I can bring the letters closer that way. But you can see that the separation of the letters are not even, so the letter R is actually much more separated than the other letters. So what I'm going to do, and this is just the way I do it, is I'm going to actually write 2 words to complement each other. So I'm going to delete the words that are separated. So I'm here going to delete this part. And now I'm going to place it closer exactly where I want it. And I can use the align function one more time to help me. So I'm going to use align bottom. And now you can see that they are sort of aligned, but I'm still not done. Oops, actually I need to move it a little bit more. Maybe slightly less. Okay, so right there, and let me use the align function one more time. So we'll just do that. And now, as you can see, the Cricut machine is still going to cut individual letters because remember, the machine is going to read the black lines, which are the contour lines, and that's what's telling the machine where to cut. So it's going to cut the letter A, and then it's going to go on to the letter N, and then it's going to continue doing that. So what we have to do is use the weld function to be able to create one or merge those elements or letters at the location of the overlap. So I try to overlap them the best way possible. We could potentially actually decrease this slightly to bring them even closer, and then I can move this again. I can use the align function one more time, and now I'm going to use the weld function. So I'm going to delete this layer that I have here, but basically I'm trying to create this, right? So I'm going to delete this, and now I'm going to select all of my elements. In this case, I'm going to click select all. Remember, you need to have 2 or more layers selected to be able to use the weld function. So I'm going to click there, and now as you can see, the Cricut machine is going to follow those black lines or the contour lines, and it's not going to cut individual letters. It's actually just going to do a single cut. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that in order for you to use the weld function, your layers do not need to overlap. This example that I'm going to show you now, it's the third way you can use the weld function. Let's suppose that you uploaded an image that looks like this, and I'm going to insert it on my Cricut Design Space canvas. Let me resize it here really quickly because it's too big. And I want to be able to create a pattern where I'm actually going to lay them in a certain way, and I want this to become my new design. So I'm going to use the align function here really quickly, and this is going to be the design that I want to use, the actual design that I'm trying to make. So I don't want to have 2 layers that are separate from each other, so what I'm going to do is simply weld them. And now they are an independent layer. In my slice function tutorial, I show you how to use the weld function and the slice function together to be able to edit your images in a more efficient way. That is it for this tutorial. I hope it was very useful to you, and remember, you can ask me your questions in the comments below. You can also follow me in social media if you want to message me directly, and I can respond faster that way as well.